Hey, what's up grinders? I am Zark and this week in Gems of War we have a Suncrest week. There's also pretty useful glory troop, this Hecatl over here. Guild War starts tomorrow and we have a yellow Stryx Journey event. So let's start from that. The event captain, Egris, has the usual double magic, and if the third trait is unlocked, it will give times 2, times 2.5 or times 3 miles gained from the battle based on the ascension of the troop. If Egris is epic, you're gonna get times 2 miles. If he is legendary, you're going to get times 2.5 miles. And if you are if you have ascended this troop to mythic, you are going to get 3 times the miles gained from the battle. You can get Egris from these tier shops, and there's also this new weapon that you can get, which happens to be pretty trash. It doesn't even conjure Lightstorm or do anything cool. Not worth using, but of course you should get the weapon because eventually you have to get all the weapons in this game. Egris, however, this is Stryx Beast troop from Suncrest, and it deals the usual magic plus 4 damage to an enemy and then creates 3 yellow gems boosted by Stryx allies, and the boost ratio is times 3. The more Stryx troops you have in your team, the more yellow gems you're going to create. Traits: Eagle Eye, places Hunter's Mark on enemies when doing skull damage. Pretty nice if you're using this troop up top, which I do not recommend. Agile, 20% chance to dodge skull damage. Again, okay if you're using him up top. And then the third trait, Pathfinder, which we already went through. Right. When it comes to the teams, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Here is Finesse, a Guardian, Stryx Construct troop type. You can get Finesse from those guild chests, guild seals, and this troop deals magic plus 3 damage to an enemy and a random enemy. And if the enemy uses yellow mana, he deals double damage. If there is a storm active, he also gives 6 mana to all other allies. Pretty awesome troop already. Here are the traits. Storm Hatred deals double skull damage versus yellow enemies. Stone Skin reduces damage from skulls by 50%, and then that third trait, Gift of Finesse, gives 4 to all skills on all Stryx allies when matching 4 or more gems. Now think about that. When you're looping with Egris, with the yellow gems, every time you catch an extra turn, Finesse is going to give 4 to all skills on all Stryx allies. We are using Stormcaller class. First of all, it makes us our hero Stryx, and that Storm Soul conjures a Lightstorm when your turn begins. So as long as your hero isn't stunned, you are pretty much going to have Yellow Storm running in the background all the time. We are using Rope Dart because it's pretty awesome weapon with this kind of team. We're looping with yellow, so eventually your Rope Dart is up, and then you can eliminate all armor from an enemy and deal magic plus 3 damage, and then pull them to the first position. The real power of this weapon, however, lies in the upgrades. Mighty Genju attack. Tangling, entangle the first enemy. So when you cast Rope Dart and pull up the enemy up top, they are also going to be entangled. Solar destroys 3 random red gems. Okay with some other teams, but not that useful in this team. And there's the quick upgrade, gain an extra turn. So when you cast this weapon, you are going to get an extra turn as long as your hero isn't frozen. Right. Maybe we should try this team in practice. There are some tweaks to be made, but let's try this first. Against undead enemies. We want to match those extra turns if there are any. There's one, and there's another one. Can we get an 4 match? Nope, we do that and get an extra turn. Now our Finesse is up. If we cast Finesse, our Egris is going to be up, but I think we're going to just take that skull because our Egris had that enchant. Now we start dealing damage. You could start with this 129 damage, which is enough to kill that Raven. We do that. Now we could cast Rope Dart, eliminate armor, but this is going to be a kill. At least that queen over there is entangled as well. And then deal damage. 137 damage already with just few loops. Now this is going to beef up a lot when you have to loop more when the enemies get harder. For that, when the enemies get harder, I think it's worth getting rid of that second finesse and bring in High Priestess Saskia. Why? Well, first of all, she deals AoE damage, little bit, speeds up the process, and then he or she blesses all yellow allies. Now think about a situation where, for example, Egris is death marked or has lycanthropy, or your finesse is like frozen or something. Your looping is going to suffer a lot from freeze. At that time you can just cast your Shazga and it will bless all your troops and get rid of the freeze or death mark or whatever nasty negative status effect the enemy has inflicted on you. Traits. Stryx Bond meh, Revert meh, Endless Dawn conjures a light storm when your turn begins. So pretty much this Saskia is going to do that storm color third trait thingy. So in case the enemy starts to be a little bit beefed up, you could go and change your class to Elementalist. Because of that third trait, stun, freeze, burn and entangle a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. Every time you loop with Egris, they are going to get entangled, frozen, etc. And you are going to have Light Storm running almost all the time, and you can rope dart the enemies if they aren't entangled, etc. Right, maybe we could go and try this team in practice. Last week when we had to use that non-elf Ghost Slayer, we pretty much found that Secra looped just fine with 3 elves when there was Darkstorm running in the background. So now we have only 3 Stryx allies when we are using Elementalist, but because we are going to have that Lightstorm over there, I think Egris is going to be doing just fine. Let's try this team in practice. Lots of jargon, not that much action, but hey, that's how it goes with my clips. Can we get our troops up? Purple, blue, there's extra turn, woohoo! Yellow, where's those yellows? Let's take more blue. We give enemy an extra turn, we could take that and get some stats, that too. Well, why not take that as well, and that, and let's start the looping process. Yeah, we are doing just fine with 3 Stryx allies when the Lightstorm is running in the background. Just like that. And if things look hard, you can just rope dart the enemy and at least get them entangled. Well, what about if you don't have rope dart? That's when things get a little bit complicated, but there are some weapons that do pretty much the same thing. Not that great though. Flesh Reaper, this is a Zain weapon, which eliminates all armor from an enemy and then deals magic plus 4 damage boost by armor eliminated. There's also Ocean's Protector, eliminates all armor from an enemy and gains life equal to the armor eliminated, and then also submerge all allies. Okay, adds survivability, but well, of course you would prefer rope dart. However, I'm pretty sure there are some people who still don't have rope dart. I personally went almost 2 years without it, and I can tell there were times that I was wishing that I would had that rope dart. Now, if you are a new player, you have to tweak the team quite a lot. You don't have great weapons like Dawnbringer or let's say Trick and Treat would do great, but probably you don't possess those. So that's when you're tweaking your survivability. There. I would go this way, and I'm going to use this team for my second account. I don't have rope dart, I'm pretty sure I don't even have that Saskia, but I think this would do just fine. We are using Elementalist to increase the survivability. We are using Egris to loop, and we're using Finesse for that stone skin, and of course that gift of Finesse will do very much for us. We can deal double damage to yellow enemies and get some mana when we cast this finesse. This Totek over here gains armor and barrier himself, and if there is a storm active, he will barrier all other allies. This troop summons a light storm at the start of the battle. We have a storm running, and here is a very easy to get weapon, Thunderbolt. I think this is maybe Air Mastery 16 or 80. So pretty much if you have played this game for a few months, you should have this. You know, when you get leveled up, you are going to pick some gem mastery. So if you have picked yellow 20 times or something like that, you are going to have this weapon. This weapon also has the light storm. So if this light storm at the start of the battle runs out, you can cast your weapon and resummon the light storm. Then you can barrier your allies and keep looping with barrier troops. Because eventually the enemy is going to be that high that they are going to do nasty damage to your troops. So the barrier helps at that time. Let's try this team over here. Of course, if you have better weapons, you should use them, but if you don't, this is an option. Check for extra turns, which we again don't have. Might we pick that blue over there to get Egris up. Now we have an extra turn and we can start gaining some stats and start the looping process as well. There's 10 yellow gems. We might fail with 3 Stryx only, but ayo, here we go. Yep, we failed. Let's try again. 13, this should work. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. There. Right. Maybe this helps if you're a low level player. I think that's all I have to say about this journey event. Let's go and grab that gems over there. Tributes help. Let's check Underspire. Oh crap, I already used my torches already. Let's buy a little bit more. Here is the team I'm going to use most times, especially in the later levels, you know, area 4, area 5, area 6. Elementalist adds protection, and here we are using the Glory Troop, Hekatzel, who converts blue gems to yellow and then conjures a light storm. Also summons a light storm at the start of the battle. That really helps to getting your Egris up. We're also using Zaska for that bless. You know, you can cleanse your troops if they are frozen, etc. And this troop also conjures that light storm when the turn begins. Right, pretty much the same deal as in Journey, but we are using this stuff of storms because rope dart isn't available. We have to use Suncrest weapons. I think you could build some kind of Phoenicia team with Nimbus bow or loomed stuff. And I do have another team too, but it doesn't have that great of flow, so I'm going with this. Blue to yellow. If not, then match those gems. Do we have extra turn? We don't, so let's start taking those blues. And conversion, no. What about if I do this? No. Well, our Pathfinder is up, so I think this is time to start spamming. If you want to get rid of that entangle, just cast Zaska and it will bless your yellow allies, and the entangle is gone. During the first levels you can just cast Zaska and get rid of the enemy. Pretty straightforward stuff. So I suppose I could show that other team too. Even though it's not that great. Really. I test this troop. I really would like to use Ruby Rod because it deals so heavy damage. I don't know. Harpy Mage conjures a dust storm, then chooses an ally and explode match +1 gems of one of their mana colors. First of all, if you can't choose the gem you're going to explode. It's either red or yellow or red or purple or red, yellow or brown. So maybe we could try and slap a monocolor troop there at the bottom and just hope that we aren't going to get inflicted with some nasty negative status effects. Yeah, I suppose it could work. Let's try. I mean, it will work against this fight, but how about when we have to fight level 200 enemies? Questionable. Get our harpy up, just matching some gems. Do that. Do we have yellows on the board? We have that. Plenty of red because of the firestorm this troop conjures. And do that too. Now we could explode those 8 yellow gems by casting RP Mage on this legendary troop over here. Explosion wasn't that great, but at least our Rubyrat is up. Yeah, I pretty much prefer to loopy team over this dragon build, that's for sure. Right. Oh, by the way, I think the New Kingdom release was delayed by 1 week. We were supposed to get that next week, but it might be that it takes 2 weeks for the release of that. There were some changes in the spoilers. I didn't look that closely, but hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah. Hey, have a great week, my friend. Stay safe, and let me know in the comments what kind of teams you are using. I'm especially interested what you are using for Underspire. Hats off. Peace out.